This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlayTimeCares.com. What's up, world? This is Alexander Playtime Williams of PlayTimeCares.com, giving you the full Raw breakdown recap from January 25th, 2016. This was in Miami, Florida. JBL, Byron Saxton, and Michael Cole on the commentary. Of course, this is the day after the Royal Rumble, so they had to recap who won the Royal Rumble because, of course, this was a one versus all. It was Roman Reigns defending his World Heavyweight title in the Royal Rumble match. And long story short, Triple H came back. He was entry number 30 of the Royal Rumble, and he outlasted Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns actually got knocked out second to last, and then Dean Ambrose got knocked out last. So, of course, Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon, husband of Triple H and father-in-law of Triple H, comes down to the ring pretty much saying that Roman Reigns is a broken man, and he ran with his tail tucked between his legs. And, Steph started giving her husband all kind of kudos. Of course, Triple H comes out in his suit, in his business suit, got the title underneath, and pretty much said that he has the title and he's going to keep it until people learn to respect the title. And he's saying nothing no one can do about it. So Stephanie announced that tonight they're going to allow many of the superstars to wrestle, and whoever impresses them, they're going to get to wrestle at the next pay-per-view, Fastlane, which would be the step before they go into WrestleMania, and whoever wins that match at Fastlane, you get to face Triple H at WrestleMania for the title. So your first match was actually Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. I say this, Dolph Ziggler came out like a man possessed, but Kevin Owens came out like he was the king of all demons. So, Dolph Ziggler always give a good match, but Kevin Owens dominated him. And that was actually a pretty good match, and it was really impressive considering that Kevin Owens should be pretty banged up from his last man standing match that happened with Dean Ambrose last night. They actually started off showing the recap of that match and how brutal that was. That match was about a 3 out of 5. Kevin Owens won it with a pop-up power bomb. He ended the match like that. So the next thing was they showed Roman Reigns coming to the ring. Coming into the arena, and JoJo went up to him and was like, "Hey, Vince McMahon said you broken and whatnot since you lost." And Roman Reigns was like, "What? Tell Vince McMahon and tell Triple H to come meet me in the ring and, tell me to my face if they think if I'm broken." So they cut away to the Social Outcasts actually being in the ring. And they pretty much saw that the Miami's own Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum award-winning Grammy rap artist Flo Rida, of course, in Florida, broken up Flo Rida. He was in the audience, and him and Heath Slater had a beef a little bit ago. So Heath Slater obviously called him out, told him to come in the ring and let's have a rap off. It actually had Bo Dallas. They put a Kango on him backwards and put the gold chain on him, and had Bo Dallas actually battle rap against Flo Rida, and they called him Bo Rida, and he actually said a couple of things that had the crowd laughing. It was pretty entertaining actually. Flo Rida, he did his thing and introduced the Dudley Boys. So the Dudley Boys came out. So that was actually your second match. You have Team 3D versus the Social Outcast. Of course, you have 2 people out there versus 4, so it's going to have a lot of interference from the 4 people. But still, all in all, Flo Rida decided that he was going to interfere in the match, and he caused the Social Outcast to lose. So they gave a 3D to Curtis Axel, and that ended the match. Match about a 2 out of 5. Next thing they did was they interviewed the newcomer, AJ Styles, the hottest free agent that was out there, AJ Styles. And it was saying, it was interviewing about, who he was, because a lot of people may not know who he is. Well, before he could even answer, Y2J came out there and started throwing out accolades, on the slick, giving them kudos and saying, "Hey, we gonna wrestle tonight. Welcome to the big leagues." So their match was actually the third match. It was Y2J, Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles, and they did a lot of back and forth action. They did a lot of cool high risk maneuvers and whatnot. AJ Styles actually did not do the majority of the high risk stuff that he's actually capable of doing. Go look him up. AJ Styles. There's a reason why they call him the Phenomenal One. He's actually been really, really good. TNA was crazy for letting him go, but that's neither here nor there. They did a really good exchange and a really good showcasing of actual wrestling maneuvers. So, long story short, AJ Styles ended up reversing the pin and getting the pin victory on Y2J. And then Y2J shook his hand afterwards after AJ Styles insisted that he shake his hand. Y2J didn't shake his hand and then just left the ring. The fourth match was actually Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. And they did a Royal Rumble recap of the Divas Championship match between Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And Sasha Banks coming in after Charlotte beat Becky Lynch, kicking Becky Lynch out of the ring. Sasha kicked her out the ring. And then when Charlotte was leaving, Sasha put the bank statement on her. So, she attacked Charlotte and Becky Lynch after the match in Royal Rumble. So, of course, they had back and forth action happening. And they were both getting at each other pretty well. And Sasha Banks actually got the bank statement on, I believe she got the bank statement on Becky Lynch too. Charlotte came in the ring and kicked her. So Becky Lynch actually ended up losing the match via DQ because of Charlotte. But Charlotte ended up whooping both of them. The match was a little bit too short. So that match is a 2 out of 5. Next thing that happened, they cut away to Goldust looking for R-Truth in the locker room. And R-Truth come in and was like, hey, what's up? And, Goldust was Goldust. He was like, hey, I want a partner. He was doing this thing. He told R-Truth he wanted a partner. R-Truth misunderstood him. Was like, look, man, I don't judge you. I just don't swing that way. And he's like, look, you just enjoy you. And he backed out. Then Goldust was like, no, man. Oh man, why I had to say that wrong. I meant I wanted a tag team partner. I think we'll be good if we formed a team, the Golden Truth. Actually, that might not be that bad of a tag team. If you remember Goldust and Booker T, that was like one of the most hilarious combination, and it was actually a good ring combination as well. So I mean, R-Truth is hilarious as he is. That could be like kind of like a revamping of the feel that we had when Goldust and Booker T used to team up. So, fifth match, you had Bray Wyatt versus Kane. But of course, Bray Wyatt came to the ring with the Wyatt family. You got 4 versus 1. You know what happened. Anytime Kane gets an advantage, the other guys interfered. So it was really not a even match. But because of the fact that it was so uneven, that match was about a 2 out of 5. Bray Wyatt won it because of all of the interference of the Wyatt family, and then the Wyatt family beat him up afterwards. So they kept saying that it was a big announcement that some big star was going to show up for tonight in Miami. Okay, what the Miami crowd is expecting. Miami is a home of the Rock, so they have a limo outside that they kept showing through the show, and finally somebody went and knocked on the window. Was like, hey, can we talk to whoever's in there? Don't open up, the crowd just goes nuts. It's the Miz. They start booing. But the Miz was talking about that, he is a great superstar. It's been, a long time since he's actually come back, that he's actually been on Raw. So, this is a big moment that a big superstar would actually show up. Then you see this black pickup truck, all black pickup truck with nice tinted windows come screeching by, and the crowd go nuts because they recognize who vehicle it is. Of course, who steps out? It's The Rock, and he has an excellent interaction with The Miz, and then The Big Show, and then Rick Ross, and Lana, and then Rusev, and Pat Patterson. And, they were following the whole time while he's doing this progression of the thing, showcasing personality that you really don't see in today's shows or with today's wrestlers outside of the New Day. He comes to the ring, and, the crowd go nuts. It's a lot of Rocky chants, things like that. He finally like, hey, y'all ready for WrestleMania? We're going to have a great time there. He just hyping up WrestleMania. New Day comes out and interferes. Crowd gets excited about that. You don't really hear the New Day suck chants too much. It's New Day rocks. You hear it from the thing, but The Rock and the New Day had a classic, interaction. You had terms like what do you call them? unibitches and saying that they had llama penises on their head, and you had a lot of stuff that The Rock said. They did a lot of back and forth stuff. New Day got him with some good stuff, but then The Rock was like, "Look, man, skip all this. You know how I do. Y'all come in the ring, let's fight." New Day was like, "Champion circle, time for us to huddle up. Champion circle, Rock, you're not a champion, so you don't get to come in here." Excellent just interaction between them. It's like, nah, we're not fighting you. You don't deserve to fight us. Rock was like, hey, I always have a plan B. They said, what's a plan B? A pregnancy test? He's like, no, family. So the Usos come out and they attack him, and they throw everybody in the ring. So the Rock bottoms Big E, and then the Usos, they do their thing against Kofi Kingston, and then you got like you got them all just kind of like Stone Xavier Woods, and The Rock does his thing with him. It's his little move on them. So the crowd was really excited about it. That was probably the highlight of Raw. And this was actually a Raw, especially considering it's after a pay-per-view. It was a really good Raw. But The Rock and the New Day, you pretty much have the most entertaining person from the last generation dealing with the most entertaining people of this generation. You have to admit, the New Day is probably the most entertaining group that they have right now. So after that, you had the sixth match. You had Brie Bella and Alicia Fox versus Natalya and Paige. Another short Divas match, 2 out of 5. Paige got the rampage on Brie, and got her and Natalya got the pin victory. Then you had a Royal Rumble recap of Kalisto beating Alberto Del Rio for the U.S. title. So, of course, the 7th match is going to be The Miz versus Kalisto. They actually did put on a decent match. Another example, Kalisto and AJ Styles. Another example why the WWE needs to bring back the Cruiserweight division. You got a lot of stuff from WCW. Cruiserweight division, you need to bring that in. You can have some excellent matches. You had a lot of back and forth matches. The Miz tried to put Kalisto in a skull crushing finale by the ropes, and Kalisto jumped off, did a springboard off the rope while Miz had him, turned into Salida del Sol, and ended the match like that. Pretty decent. 3 out of 5 for that match. And then your last match, the 8th match, your final match, was Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus the League of Nations. Once again, you got 2 versus 4. So you have back and forth action. Dean Ambrose still jumping off of the top rope doing all these high risk maneuvers, but it's 4 against 2. So they interfered a lot. But in the long run, it didn't matter because Roman Reigns was able to land a spear on Sheamus, and that was pretty much it. They won the match. And that match was about a 3 out of 5. So Stephanie McMahon said that they were going to announce who was going to face each other at the next pay-per-view, Fastlane, to see who would face Triple H at WrestleMania for the title. So she came out and she said, hey, I made my decision. It's going to be a triple threat match. It's what's best for business. We're going to have Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Actually, that's not that bad of a match. But once again, poor writing on the WWE, because you have your Intercontinental Champion that's in the mix for the WWE Championship that wasn't in the mix truly for the WWE Championship. But yesterday, the crowd got excited when they thought that Dean Ambrose will win it. Orlando booed the heck out of Roman Reigns every time they thought he was about to maintain his title. So I guess you kind of doing stuff, but I mean, these belts, you got to make each belt mean something individually, and I'm not seeing that. So, man, this right need to be revamped. But like I say, this was one of the better Raws that I've seen after a pay-per-view. So all in all, I mean, I was impressed with this one. I was at least entertained with this one, especially with The Rock and the New Day interaction. So, hey, follow me on everything. Playtime Cares. That's me on everything. Tell you, subscribe. Have your people subscribe, I love the interactions. I'm going to start doing some Google Hangouts with people, and we can sit there and we can discuss wrestling real time, and I post it on my page, playtimecares.com. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know how I can improve things. I'm loving the thumbs up. I'm loving the thumbs down. At least you're watching. Comment, do all that. I'm user friendly, baby. Playtime out.